Hello, aloha. How's everyone doing? How are things? Hope you guys are ready for this video today because there's some things I'm going to talk about. There's going to be like, okay, as you see from the title of the video, I'm going to talk about the top 5 mistakes the coaches make with their offers and why they're struggling to sell consistently, right? So we're going to talk about the 5 top mistakes and the fifth mistake. I don't know if you're ready for that conversation, but we need to have that conversation because it's really real. But as you know, yesterday, so this whole week, the whole theme of the videos for this week is all about offers because that's the fundamental of your business. Nothing can be done in your business successfully unless we put together an offer that actually converts, an offer that makes sense. Because then, if you don't have an offer, what is your website going to be about? If you don't have a good offer, what is your content's going to be about? If you don't have a good offer, what is your email sequence going to be about? What are your lead magnet going to be about? Everything stems from the offer, right? So yesterday we covered on kind of the introductory video. We talked about why your coaching offer matters more than your content, than your funnels, and then your ads. And I actually encourage you guys to write in the comments. If you're watching this on replay, you can still do this. Write in the comments your current position statement, your current offer, for me to quote unquote critique it or give some feedback. So I'm going to share my screen of some of the people that left their the because I'm doing this so not only for them but also for anyone that's watching that can benefit from this. So let me just share my screen here and I'll show. So the first one here was Coach Chandra. Chandra. She said, I help my clients stop feeling nervous and unprepared so they can walk into interviews feeling confident, clear, and ready to ace the interview and land the role. Now, this is really good, right? Specifics, right? We have a specific goal or a specific goal or pain point that we're trying to remove. There's for them to stop feeling nervous and unprepared, so that I love that connecting word there. They can walk in interviews feeling confident, clear, and ready to ace the interview. Specific. It's really specific. We cannot people don't read this and go, oh, I wonder what she means by that. Now, the feedback that I gave her, and you can see here by my comment, I basically just tell her, specify a little bit more who are these people? Who are these clients? People that are in entry level positions, people who are trying to get into leadership positions, who are exactly you talking to? Because then creating content for these people are going to be more specific. So that was my feedback to Coach Chandra. And then here we have, I forgot her name. Let me go back. Oh, Takia. So Takia said, let me go back here, scroll down. Okay. Takia said here, hey, Sally, I help women break cycles of stress, burnout, and people pleasing so they can reclaim their power, establish boundaries, and design life that reflects their purpose, not pain. I love it. You know, and then she said in 4 to 6 months. Now, I love it. Again, if you look at it, help women. Look at this, how it's broad, right? Woman is broad, but what makes it specific is that we're really specific on what we need, we want them to help them fix. Now, I don't love that she goes into burnout, people pleasing, and stress, but those are kind of adjacent, right? It's kind of like if you're people pleasing, the likelihood of you feeling overwhelmed and feeling stressed is actually, it's there as well. So it's okay. The only feedback that I gave her, and you can see here, is that love it, fantastic. The only thing that I recommend, don't make it 4 to 6 months, because then you're going to have a lot of pushback on time commitment. People cannot go from not knowing you from Adam to now, being stuck with you for like the next 6 months. So what I recommend her, usually recommend anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks tops, from a marketing and from a business standpoint, but then you can go up from there. And also what she said, and also recommended, she can do for 90 days the offer, and then offer a maintenance program right after it, like for the people that graduate from this. Okay, so this is the people that gave wanted some feedback. That's the feedback that I gave. Hopefully they'll take it on and implement it. If you still want to, if you're watching this on replay, #replay. If you want me to critique or review or give you some feedback on your offers, your position statements, just let me know. Right? Okay, so let's jump into today's topic. The 5 top mistakes the coaches make with their offers, right? Because this week is all about offers. And we're going to be covering the mistakes because I feel that if we just avoid mistakes, we are 90% there. Just avoid the thing that is kind of dragging you down, right? So it's just avoid that. So a lot of coaches, they think, okay, I just need to put more content. I need to just do more free calls. I need to do more discounts. And the reality is that none of it was going to work on long term. because the offer in itself is not compelling enough. So a lot of you making really crucial mistakes on around your offer. And the last one, again, I don't think you're ready to talk about that one, but I'm going to talk about it because I'm really passionate about it. But let's go with number one, right? The first mistake that you guys are making is selling sessions and not transformations. I kind of hinted a little bit on this yesterday. Clients, your people, they don't want to buy time from you. They don't care, right? They want the end result. We buy services as a whole. We buy services because we want something at the end of it. Any service, right? For example, I go take my car to the mechanic. That's a service. Why? Because I want my car fixed. Why do I do that? Because I don't know how to fix my car. Simple, right? I go get my hair braided and I sit there for 2.5 hours. She's really good, by the way. 2.5 to do all of this. So 2.5 hours, she does it. Why do I do it? Because one, if I do it myself, it's not going to look this cute. Second, if I do it myself, one, it's not going to look this cute. And also, it's going to be taking me, I don't know, 12 hours, right? So we buy service because we want an outcome. So understand that people are not buying coaching from you. That's not what they want. They don't want that. They don't want coaching. No one wakes up in the morning thinking, I want a coaching session today. That's not what they're looking for. What they're looking for is the result. They want a transformation. They want to feel better. So they are right now in a state of like pain and stress and overwhelm and let's say look at the burnout and everything, and they want to feel peaceful. They want to be aligned. They want to be balanced and everything. So a wrong way to sell is saying 6 1-hour coaching sessions. They don't want that. When people say weekly calls plus unlimited email and Voxer support, they don't care. That's your mechanism. 12-week package with Zoom sessions. Those are features. Those are mechanisms. Coaching is the mechanism that you help to get people to get to the goal they want to achieve. That's it. That's your mechanism. It could have been anything. It could be water. Drink water. Drink this whatever water 3 times a day and you feel less stress, whatever. But the water is a mechanism. If you just understand that, if you just take away the fact that you're trying to sell coaching, right? And instead understand what is a transformation that you're actually helping people achieve, now we're talking. Now we're going away from selling your time for money and instead sell a specific outcome, right? So now you go from 6 hours, 1-hour coaching sessions to something more like quit smoking in 90 days without feeling deprived. That's a specific outcome. It's a program, right? Or lose 15 pounds in 12 weeks without restricting diets. That's a specific offer. That is an offer. An offer talks about the transformation, talks about the outcome, talks about the thing that's going to happen after a specific time frame. Or go from burnout to balance in 90 days, even if you work 60 hours a week. There's no any of those examples I just gave you. In no point people are going to go, I wonder what she means by that. There's no wondering what I mean by that. There's lose 15 pounds in 12 weeks without restricting diet, or go from burnout to now balanced in 90 days, even if you work 60 hours a week. They're specific. We're not wondering, I wonder what she means, no, specific. But when you say six coaching sections, 6 one-on-one coaching sessions in the 12 months, people like, yeah, I guess, I wonder what she means. What's going to happen in those? I mean, what? What are we talking about for this 1 hour every single week, right? So with mistake number one, it's all about making sure that you understand that you're selling transformation and sell the transformation and name the transformation. We're good? Awesome. Let's go on to mistake number 2. It's kind of like mistake number 1, but I think this deserved a mistake on its own because I see it all the time, especially after yesterday, because whilst we're live, Dr. Patrice was also giving me her angles, and I was able to critique it or give some feedback. And being vague is something that I see a lot of coaches do, right? So this is where you say, for example, I help you find purpose, or I help you step into your power, or live your best. What does that mean? What is living my best life? What is it about my current life right now? And this is how you have to think about the transformation. What is it about my life right now that doesn't allow me to live my best life? It can be so many things. It can be because I'm burned out and overwhelmed. It can be because I'm constantly people pleasing. It can be because I'm a new mother and I have a newborn at home. It can be because I have 50 extra pounds. It can be so many things. So with mistake number 2, it's all about, don't be vague. Be more specific. For example, discover your top 3 strengths and design a career that fits them, right? Okay, so I understand exactly. So it's specific. Instead of just saying find a good career path or something like that. Like, be more specific than that. Or for example, you can say how to or learn how to set boundaries so you can stop saying yes when you mean to say no, right? That's more specific than just saying stepping into your power. What does that mean, right? What is? I had a client once. I have to tell the story. I had a client once. His name is Jesse, and he said, "I help women find their inner warrior." And I said, "Listen, I think I know what you mean because we had the conversation for like 45 minutes. But let me ask you, how many women out there are thinking, waking up in the morning thinking, oh my God, I hope I find my inner warrior today? Not one, right? So that's a standpoint, that's the angle that we have to look at this, right? We have to speak the way that your target audience is speaking. We have to talk in a way and use the lingo that they are using, not the lingo that you're using, because you know what you're talking about. We need to make sure that they know that you what are you talking about. Yeah. So and then for example, another example would be you can say how to create meaning, a meaning, a meaning, how, how to create a morning routine that gives you 2 extra hours of focus energy every single day, right? So it's all about how to create a morning routine that gives you more energy, right? Instead of just saying how to live your best life, right? So something like that, specific, not vague. We would anytime you say what you do and people question, oh, what do you mean by that? You know that, okay, I need to rephrase it. It needs to be something that you say and people go, oh, awesome. And how often you been doing that? There's no follow-up questions because it's so clear, right? That exactly what you do. So that's mistake number 2, being too vague. Let's go on to mistake number 3. And this is something that I actually had a call with a client today, and we talked about this. That's why I thought, okay, I have to put this in the mistakes as well. Because originally this video was supposed to be one mistake, but and actually I have a video on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna see if I can find it here. That have it's a video. I don't know how long it is, but it's 17 mistakes, and I'll find it. I'll put it here so you guys can go and watch it. Because there's plenty of ways that we can the mistakes the coaches are doing that keep them stuck. So I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna put it here. But okay, but the mistake number 3 is targeting everyone. Now, here's the thing. When you tell me that you can help everyone with your methodology, I'm not doubting that. I totally believe it. I have clients that I know that their thing works on everybody. The problem is you're not going to be able to convince everybody that you can help everybody. Because when you're talking to everybody, the second, see, let me use some examples that I used in the past, right? Or I was just given here. For example, when I said that lose 15 pounds in 12 weeks for, how to help new mothers lose 15 pounds in 12 weeks, whatever, right? So that's the specific offer. The second I become more broad with that, I am restricted with the examples that I can give in terms of the way that's going to resonate with people. If I'm only talking to new mothers, there's a sea of examples that I can give that resonate specifically with them because they'll feel that you're talking to them. But when, for example, if I'm telling I'll help everybody lose weight, now I have to talk to the person that works full time, the person that is a stay-at-home mother with 3 kids that she has to also cook for the whole family. Now I have to talk as well to the person that is a college kid. Now my messaging will be diluted, or I'll be forced to either have a message that is very broad that it just goes over people's heads, right? So the mistake here is that number 3 is being too or making it trying to target everybody, right? When you're trying to help everybody, you dilute the value. Instead, what you should do is niche down, speak directly to a specific person's pain, and that's how you make your coaching work. For example, when you say, I help women feel more confident, who, which women? Tell me who, because confidence in itself, it's a little broad. Like confidence is one of the ones that people always say, and I feel like this one, it feels specific, but it's a little broad. Because confidence in what? Confidence in going back to dating after a divorce, or confidence in speaking up in meetings, or confidence in being a good mother since you're a new mother. You know what I mean? Confidence like still a little broad. And when you say help women feel more confident, like, oof, that just makes it broad, right? Another example of too broad is like I coach people who want to lose weight. Again, who are these people? Lose what type of how much weight? For how long? All of those. Another one would be, for example, I help anyone who feels stuck in life. Stuckness is one of the ones that I love to hate because it works, right? When you say stuck, but we need to be really specific on the person. Who's this person that's feeling stuck, right? Is it the person that went, for example, I have a lot of clients that help women who have lived all of their lives to check societal boxes, feeling that those are like happy, happy checklists. And then they have the successful marriage, they have successful career, they have the house, the kids, and everything. And they're like, check, 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 check. And at the end, they're like, oh, but oh my God, I feel so disconnected. I'm so unhappy. I'm miserable. I feel stuck, right? But now we know which women we're talking about, right? So that's how those all three examples that I just gave you are too broad. The way they make something more specific, for example, would be help women in tech leadership stop doubting themselves and lead with confidence. Instead of just saying I help women feel more confident, saying I help women in tech leadership stop doubting themselves and lead with confidence is very different. You see, specificity. So being more having more, and the specificity here is the target audience, not just being broad with women in tech leadership. Not only women in tech, but women in tech leadership. For example, when I said I coach people who want to lose weight, if you say I help busy lawyers drop 20 pounds without fat diets and crazy workouts, now we have a specific person. We're not trying to help everybody lose weight. Hey, I'm talking to busy lawyers. And guess what busy lawyers also do? They have the money to pay you, right? So we're not saying just everybody. And that's a cool thing as well. When you are specific, it means that you are an expert in that specific field. It means that you have something that the general, for example, if I'm a personal trainer specialized in helping new mothers lose weight, and I'll discuss this personal trainer, there's a general personal trainer. I'm sure they're not expecting to pay the same rate for one that specializes in your problem and one that's like a general. That's why general physicians earn way less than a cardiologist. Generalists earn less, right? So also impacts your money, but I don't know if you're ready to talk about that. Okay, the last one, help moms rebuild energy and confidence after childbirth. So instead of just saying, help anyone who feels stuck in life, right? No, I help new moms rebuild their energy and confidence after childbirth, right? Right now you're stuck because you have this new child and all these things and all these emotions, all this hormones and everything. But no, let's rebuild that energy, that confidence. Let's, get you unstuck from there, right? So that was number 3. So basically, just to go back, number 3 was all about the mistake was targeting everyone. Don't target everybody. Understand exactly who are you talking to. Okay, so mistake number 4, and people sometimes do that because they feel that's going to elevate the value of your offer. It's just not. It's just going to make people really confused. You make it sound hard. And by doing that, you make it sound overly overwhelmed and complicated, right? And then people go, oh my God, this is harder than I thought it was going to be. Then I might as well not do it. For example, and you try to do that because you think that adding more things into your offer will make it somehow better. So for example, you say, okay, we'll go through the 12 models covering mindset, nutrition, exercise, sleep, relationship, and even more. And then we have all this. So you add things to the list and people are like, oh my goodness, it sounds like a lot of work. You want to simplify. The reason why they're hiring you is because, one, you're an expert and you're simplifying the way for them to get there. So there's no reason to make this more stressful for them, right? Another example, for example, you'll get 50-page workbook, 20 videos, and 6 different frameworks you can work through so we can get to the result. Woof, that's a lot. Just saying that out loud, but that's a lot. Don't make it sound hard. Don't feel that the more that you add to the offer, that somehow that makes it better. Remember, the people are coming to you because simplify. They want that weight, because they know that there's a simple way to get to the goal. They just don't know which way works best for their specific problem. So that's why they're coming to you. So if you're adding complexity to it, it's just making it worse. Or for example, if you say like, yeah, I'll completely overhaul your life in 3 months. Oh, that's like, that's too much. Like, make it simple. For example, 3 simple habits to increase your energy in the next 30 days. A step-by-step blueprint to land your next promotion without burning out. You make it sound simple. The 90-day method to go from anxious to calm without hours of meditation. See, even that last one without hours of meditation, you're already excluding something that already it's stressing, because if people feel like, oh, if I want to feel calm, I have to meditate, which is something I already don't do. And then if I have to meditate, I have to meditate for like an hour every single day. They're like, oh my God, that's a lot of work. That's why people don't meditate sometimes, or they even start, because oh my God, it's a lot of things, right? So just to go back, number 4, you make it sound harder than it actually is. Simplify. It doesn't mean that the process is not going to be hard. It is maybe going to hit because it's a transformation, but you don't need to add more things to it to make it. So make it, in marketing, we call this the minimal viable offer. What is the quote unquote bare minimum that they can do to get them to the result? Remember that all people want is the result. That's it. That's simple. Okay. The 5th one, the most awaited one that I don't think you guys are ready to talk about, but let's talk about it because it's important and I'm really passionate about this one. The mistake that you're doing is that you're pricing it like a commodity. Stop undervaluing yourself. And I know where this comes from. Well, partially where it comes from. This undervaluing your services and treating like a commodities, because maybe you are selling a commodity, which is your time, or which is your coaching, right? It's a commodity because then once people realize they want coaching, they're just going to go price shopping, right? You're not selling something specific. There's no transformation to it. You're just selling your time for money, your coaching calls, right? So that's why you're pricing like a commodity. But once you're able to then make sure that you communicate how that coaching is actually the program and the transformation you're actually able to provide, you'll be able to charge based on the transformation and not on your time. Okay. When you have a strong positioning and when you know exactly the transformation you're helping people overcome, people will take you seriously and you're able to charge for it. And let me tell you something about pricing, because I think this is something that one of my mentors told me early on. And then, it really lands, because that's what we do, as humans. If you're cheap, no one will, if you're good, no one expects it to be cheap. And if you're cheap, no one will believe you that you're good. Let me say that again. If you're cheap, no one will believe you that you're good. And if you're good, no one expects you to be cheap. That's simple. So if you're telling me that you're able to help me land my next career, what was the one that I gave? The busy professionals to have a work-life balance, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to do that and just charge me $50 an hour? I'm like, but then Susan over there, she's doing the same thing. It's a 12-week program and she's charging you 6K. I'm going to wonder, what am I not getting from the $50 per session that I'm getting on the 60K one? Sorry, but that's how we humans, there's a really cool book called, I have it in my shelf, that's why I'm looking to the side, Predictably Irrational. Because we do place more value to the things that we pay more towards. There's a saying in market that we say, those that pay attention. Those that pay do the work. There's plenty of you right now that have put your name and email to some downloadable thing, and you put your name and email, and that downloadable thing is sitting on your inbox and you haven't opened it yet. Why? Because you paid nothing for it. You'll give zero value to it. And maybe that's the thing that you need. If you read it, it could have helped you grow your business, but you just didn't give it a value for it because you didn't pay for it, right? And the book that I just gave you, that I was recommending to you now, is a book that actually gives an example of people sampling different types of wines, right? So they're sampling different types of wines. It came in different bottles and everything. So people are tasting it and doing the whole and the thing and spitting and all those things. And then they needed to assign which one they liked the best, right? But then all they had was like how much each one cost. And overwhelming, I don't remember the numbers now, but it was like an overwhelming amount of people, like 80% said the best tasting wine was the most expensive wine. And now you guessed it, the wine was exactly the same, right? So you just leaving money on the table because you feel insecure about the offer that you have. But we can change that, because once you understand that you're not selling coaching, instead you're selling a transformation, now you're able to price it appropriately and finally make money from your business. Because sometimes, that's the other thing I say to my clients. If for every client that you sign, you're still in the red, that's not a good business model. Really think about this. And I want, one of the things I do a lot is reverse engineer. Think about, okay, right now you're doing coaching. You don't have the clients that you need right now, you're working full time because you want somehow you have to pay the bills, right? So think about what's the number, how much you need to do monthly. Okay, let's say that it's $7,000 per month for you to be pay the bills, make sure they have some kind of cool lifestyle as well, and a little bit of a bouginess going on in your life. Fantastic. Now think about if you're charging $7,000 or even $100 per hour, then do the math. How many hours you have to work per week to make that work? So, for example, if how many hours you have to work not only for the coaching but also to do the marketing, the sales and everything to make that math work. It's an crazy amount of time, right? So if we just reverse engineer things, we'll be able to kind of see, the math is not mathing here. So that's why I cannot just slap prices into something. We need to make sure that we stem it from something that is more tangible. Yeah. So basically, just to go back into the mistakes. The first mistake, just in case if you're watching now and everything, is selling sessions, not transformations. Understand that you're giving a transformation, not selling your session, not selling your time for money. Mistake number 2, being too vague. Don't be vague. Be specific. Specify exactly what problem you're helping them overcome or what is the goal that you're helping them achieve. Number 3, targeting everyone. I know that you can help everyone, but everyone will not believe they can help everyone because everyone thinks they are a special snowflake, and they are, right? To some extent. So make sure that you speak to a specific person. Number 4, stop making it sound very hard or adding things to your offer just because you want to add more things to it. You're overwhelming the person. You're overwhelming your prospect, and they're gonna leave you on, I'll think about it. They'll never come back. Right? And mistake number 4, stop pricing it like a commodity. Increase your prices. After you figure out exactly what your offer look like, increase your prices so you're able to then price it correctly and have finally those sales that you need. Okay. Now, tomorrow we're going to be talking about the 4 types of offers that every coach needs and how to use them to create a clear path for your clients to ascend and keep buying from you. So I know that, there's, maybe you don't know this, but there's 4 different types of offers that every coaches need in their arsenal. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. And for today, for the ones watching this on replay, #replay, leave in the comments, what do you offer currently, right? And if does any of these mistakes resonate with you? Are you finding them in your offer right now, the currently one that you have? If yes, which one? But also feel free to also leave your position statement or your offer so I can quote unquote critique it. Also, I'm going to leave the link because I had a video that I did back in 2023 of the 17 mistakes that people do with your coaching, and I'm going to leave I'm going to leave in the first comment or in the description of this video so you guys can also go there and watch it. Okay, I'm going to hang out for another 10-20 seconds because I know I'm using a third-party tool and it's doing like the live stream, so it delays a little bit on the comments. So if anyone has comments, has any questions, or I can answer them live. And I'm just going to hang out for a little bit here so you guys can ask the questions. Otherwise, I hope that you guys are enjoying this. I'm totally enjoying, and I love giving this information because I feel that it's like the fundamentals. That is just the fundamentals. It's like, of course, no marketing message or no marketing angle can ever be written without us knowing what we offer in the first place and crafting that offer correctly. So that's why I feel that I'm really. That's why I'm really passionate about this. Okay, so I think that today there's no one, but again, you're more than free than just like the other people left the comments for me to give some feedback. Feel free to do it, and I hope this was helpful, insightful, and I hope to see you tomorrow when we talk about the 4 different types of offers. Big kiss, big hug, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.